Kung Fu.
Yes, that's this week.
Yep.
Show us your moves.
So I went ahead and just kind of defined it as all martial arts movies.
Okay. I kind of.
So,
Yeah, it seems more like a piece of a movie. It's like, because it's like everywhere. Like, just. It's in so many movies.
yeah, like I wouldn't call like The Bourne Identity a martial arts movie, even though it has martial arts in it,
Yeah.
and it focuses on the fight scenes and stuff a lot. Well, it kind of focuses on them. Shaky cam shit. I don't like that, but
Yeah.
uh,
I guess I was going to list some of those as my honorable mention, but I don't know. Because
mm,
I was thinking of like Old Boy and Nobody.
okay,
Wait,
yeah, like Old Boy. How
because it,
many
it
like
has some
action
epic.
sequences are in that?
I mean, there's
I
the
remember the
one,
hallway
yeah,
scene.
the hallway one, but I mean, he's
Yeah,
like picking fights with everybody.
yeah.
And
It's been a while since I saw that.
but yeah, that's the like main one, and then you got the twist ending,
Yeah,
which is like I guess it's, to me it's more of a drama. Like the fight scenes are kind of
that's
not the focus; they're just
yeah. They're like a
it,
spice.
yeah.
Yeah, and nobody I would define more as a martial arts film, but even that's not that martial arts-y, like in a classic sense. Like
Well, I think
he fights,
yeah.
but it's not very showy
Well, they
martial arts type fighting. It's
like martial arts is kind of like thanks to Joe Rogan, it's like more MMA influenced.
mhm.
It's like I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw
it's
the
more.
like the Roadhouse.
I didn't see that Roadhouse remake,
Okay,
but I heard it was very entertaining, so I should check it out at some
it's
point. It's
fun.
just really hard to sit down and
And they
commit.
had one of the
But
MMA guys in
yeah,
there. But
yeah, Conor McGregor, I think, right?
mhm, yeah, he played a
Yeah.
villain. It was
Um,
funny.
and
But
of course Jake Gyllenhaal's in it, and I'll watch pretty much anything with Jake Gyllenhaal.
yeah, but it's like I wouldn't really consider the original like a kung fu movie.
I wouldn't either. It's like there's fighting movies,
Yeah.
but they're not the same as like martial arts movies. Um, yeah, I feel like the like to me a real martial arts movie is either about like well either way the choreography or the martial art in question is like the focus or one of the main focuses of the film. It might not be
Okay.
the focus of the story, even though it often is, but it's
Okay.
more
So like the
like
Karate
an
Kid.
excuse to showcase. Yeah, like it's either a story about the martial art itself, like the Karate Kid, or kind of an excuse to just showcase amazing choreography.
Like Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, like Enter the Dragon. Um, that's kind of how I was thinking about them when I chose my list. So,
Okay. Because I guess I wanted to bring up also like the I guess this mainly more of a anime idea, but it's like they
mhm.
have a whole subgenre of anime where it's like these people who can't use magic, like their magic is kung fu or physical
Okay.
endurance,
Hmm.
and then they're the protagonists and end up you know it's like some secret superpower.
Like the monk class in D&D.
Yeah, kind of. There's there's shows like that too. But then there's also like Baki the Grappler, where it's just like
Mm-hmm.
these people who have like trained so hard and they have such mastery over their body that they can like they're like punching out cars, and it's like ridiculous
Yeah.
supernatural level ridiculous.
Yeah, uh like they got the super soldier serum or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Except
Yeah, like they
it's
can't
through mental
necessarily
training.
yeah. Yeah.
Like they
Like
they
their
just
chi or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, I guess One Punch Man was my pick for that,
I've heard of that one, yeah.
because it's like he just does this routine every day of like push-ups and 3 mile run and sit-ups, and he did that every day for 5 years, and now he's fucking Super Saiyan.
I did a similar routine every day for about 5 years, and
I mean, it's
I
good.
still had love handles. So it didn't work for me.
Huh. Yeah,
Maybe I'll
I
try it
think
again.
a lot of that is diet if you're trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do generally have a pretty good diet, other than, I drink way too much, but
Oh, yeah.
which is basically offsets any good diet you have. But
You got the beer bellies. Yep, that'll do it.
yeah, yeah. Um, I've wondered how much weight I'll drop if I just stop drinking,
Hmm.
or at least cut it back to to the weekends or something.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
don't
hopefully I can at least get rid of this shit. Things getting out of control. It's like a spare tire down there.
know. Hmm. Yeah, I thought just like doing squats like every hour on the hour. Like just do like a
Yeah.
set of squats.
I mean, I basically do that every 10 minutes or so at work. So,
Oh, okay. Huh. Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It depends on how understaffed we are. If we're really understaffed, I have to run away from my desk and like jump on the line and start, basically doing a shitload of squats with a bunch of weight is what it amounts to. But
Yeah. Okay.
anyway, so is that like an honorable mention?
Well, I accidentally honorable mentioned my pick, so it's like I got
Oh, is that
sidetracked.
One Punch Man?
Yep, yep, that's one of my favorites.
Okay.
But
That number 3?
but yeah, I just wanted to bring up that subgenre of like
Of anime, yeah.
Baki the Grappler. It's so like retarded, but it's fun to watch.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just like martial artists like
Well, the silliness,
beating
you
the
got to
shit
embrace
out
the
of them.
silliness a little bit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's it just keeps one upping itself, where it's just
Hmm.
like, how did you even get here? It's like where you have, I don't know, people who should be dead and they come back to life, and
There's a subreddit. It's one of my favorites if you want a good laugh, but it's also a bit cringy too, so it can be uncomfortable because it's so embarrassing. But I think it's called like Bullshitto, something like that, Bullshitto, and it's just like videos of these absurd McDojos, these like scam martial arts schools that, like the Steven Seagal type martial arts where it's like, this is all
okay, yeah,
total bullshit.
like the
And it's usually like a fat old guy, like basically me, like in the middle of like 5 guys, and he's just and then they like fly across the room and
Well,
shit. It's hilarious.
there's this movie. What was it? It's like the Foot Fist Club or something. Fuck.
I've
But
never
it
heard of
was
that.
basically like that as a movie, and it has
Yeah,
that one comedian in it that I forget his name. Damn it.
it's like that one bit in Napoleon Dynamite where they go to Rex Kwando. It's like definitely a scam.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's based off that or like if they made a movie out of that or not. I don't know. It's like my
I don't know.
it's like I want to say it was the Billy Ray Cyrus, but that can't possibly be right. But it was like a comedian who looked like Billy Ray Cyrus, had the whole mullet. And
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Because it's always like it's always that dude, you
right.
know, or it's like the divorced dad telling you about risk control. Um, I did mention Steven Seagal. Like he's
Yeah,
like
I
all
guess
his
him
shit is
and
total bullshit. But
right Chuck Norris.
yeah,
Haven't
I
watched a
mean
lot of those.
all of it's kind of bullshit. Like there's a few martial arts. I think that's why some you talked about earlier. Some movies ever since MMA kind of lean more into at least an idea of realism,
Hmm.
even though they aren't that realistic. Uh, they lean a little more into something a little more grounded in reality.
Hmm.
Um, but your classic martial arts, karate, kung fu, all that stuff, I think is mostly bullshit.
Well,
Um,
I thought it was more maybe theater. Um,
yeah, it is impressive. Don't get me wrong; it's
Kind of like,
really cool. I mean, I love these movies, so it's cool.
okay.
But in real life, it's nonsense.
Well, yeah.
Like if
I
you
mean,
ever see just a boxer against any martial artist other than like an MMA type,
mhm.
I mean, they're gonna get their asses whipped.
Well, there's a size difference usually. It's like a lot of the martial artists are, Chinese and they're like 5'5", and yeah, a lot of
Hmm.
the boxer types are huge. Mike Tyson fucking
Yeah.
trucks.
Well, I would even bet though, like comparable sizes. You get two people in the same weight class, and one of them is a professional boxer, and one of them is like one of these martial arts master types. The martial artist is gonna get his ass kicked. I would bet money on it
Hmm.
every fucking time, unless they're a very specific,
Yeah,
like UFC type
I
fighter.
think
That's different.
statistically, yeah, that has held up.
Yeah. Because I think even in the early days of UFC, it wasn't all like Brazilian jiu-jitsu mixed martial arts stuff. It was just anybody who wanted to fight. So you'd get all these like karate black belts in there.
Hmm.
And if you put them up against a kickboxer or a wrestler, they lose every fucking time.
Yeah, pretty quick too.
Yeah. But I also wonder how much of that is because there was such a glut of like fake dojos in the United States, like after Vietnam or
Right.
after World War II, really, and into the 80s, and it was all just a scam. And
Mm.
so, like, the actual fighting style or art got lost through all that westernized, you
Yeah,
know,
maybe, or it's just some.
capitalism ruins everything, is my point.
Well, I thought it was more like you have somebody who can't tell the difference, and they think they actually know. They,
Right.
like they're all in on like I'm a black belt. Urgh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, those are the worst kinds.
Well, all that being said, I guess I should give you my number 3.
Okay.
Oh, I will give an honorable mention because I brought up Steven Seagal. I actually really do like Under Siege. As much as I hate that guy, that's a pretty cool movie. Under Siege was pretty good.
Okay.
Um,
Was that on?
that's an honorable mention.
Okay.
Have you seen that one?
I'm
It's
trying to remember, but it's like, are there
yeah.
submarines in that one, or is my way off
No, it's like a
base?
battleship that gets taken over
Okay.
by like it's Die Hard on a battleship is what it is.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, it's been so
and it's
long.
got Tommy Lee Jones and Gary something. The big teeth, the really crazy dude. What the hell's his name? Gary Busey. Gary Busey.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. And I think that's what kind of elevates what would have just been kind of your run of the mill shitty, Steven Seagal crap.
Yeah,
It
Gary
kind of
Busey's
elevates
great.
it to a better movie because yeah, you've got 2 really good actors in it.
Well, he's like just a belligerent drunk asshole. Like that's just him as a
Yeah, he's
person.
just out of his fucking mind. Yeah. I think didn't he have I think he had some kind of traumatic brain injury or something, like a motorcycle accident or something at one point,
Sounds
and he
plausible.
just kind of went crazy after that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Those are important.
but anyway, that's an honorable mention. My number 3 is going to be Enter the Dragon, just
Okay.
the classic. Got to have a Bruce Lee on there.
Well,
Um,
I'm glad you did it. It's like I kind of don't care.
yeah. Um, I mean, it's entertaining as hell, and
Oh,
it's one of the early ones that I saw as a kid, and it is very. It's just kind of a quintessential martial arts film.
yeah, he is kind of
It's so
motivating.
70s too. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Bruce Lee persona is. I guess he's one of those rare Asian uh, international superstars that can also be like a role model.
hmm Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see him being like a fitness role model. That dude was in just crazy shape.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like I remember reading or hearing somewhere because I'm not like a huge Bruce Lee. I'm not obsessed with Bruce Lee, but um,
A few conspiracies.
I understand anytime yeah, then there's all that. But I think I remember hearing or reading somewhere that he went a little too far with like his physical fitness to the point where he was hurting himself a lot. Which I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, yeah, that happens a
Um,
lot where you're over or you're tearing up your body and not giving it
yeah, and just
the
over
rest it
stressing
needs.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, very entertaining movie. Very just it's one of those perfect examples of the whole point of the movie is just to showcase the fighting and the choreography.
Yeah.
Um, it's that classic like Kumite situation where it's like, oh, here's a big tournament fight to the death thing on a remote island. And um,
Hmm.
did you ever see Bloodsport with
I was
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
gonna mention that. It's like I completely
Yeah,
forgot about John Claude Van Damme. And
yeah,
then us talking, I remembered, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that should probably be on my list
yeah.
somewhere." But
Um, yeah, Bloodsport, and which I think has a few of the same actors, like the big crazy guy with the weird eye, and I think he's in. I want to say he's also in Enter the Dragon, but it's a similar premise, secret martial arts fight to the death tournament. But
And Jean-Claude Van
the
Damme, he has a sense of humor too. It's like he's like the
yeah,
opposite of Steven Seagal. It's like he can make fun of himself.
yeah, yeah. Well, Jean-Claude Van Damme seems like an actual human being with like, you know, like, Steven Seagal's just a fucking lunatic sociopath or something. There's something seriously missing with that guy.
Probably some brain injuries, if I had to guess.
Yeah, maybe. There's you should go down one of those rabbit holes where there's a podcast citation needed, which I've probably mentioned before. They do an episode on Steven Seagal, and they talk about just all the way back even into the 70s and when he first got into martial arts, how he's just always been a scumbag and like a scam artist and kind of a con man type.
Yeah.
But they also talk about, there's another episode they do on the guy that Bloodsport was based on.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bloodsport claims to be a real, based on true events, right?
Sure.
And that the movie's based on was so full of shit that he's never even been to like a martial arts, like he's never even done martial arts. He just made this shit all up, and people believed him for some reason, to the point where they made a movie out of it. That's a pretty hilarious story. But I feel like the martial arts world, and it seeps into the movies, is just full of these people, just fucking liars. Like,
yeah.
Weird, sad little liars.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so...
Enter the Dragon. That's my number 3.
Okay. Because I was thinking, it's like, I didn't even consider wrestling. Like, I guess that's a different thing entirely.
Well, wrestling, if you're talking about like professional wrestling, like WWE shit.
Well, yeah, but it made me remember the
like
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know what that is.
It's like the one good Shia LaBeouf movie where he basically plays himself as a scumbag.
Never saw it. Yeah, I never saw that.
It's good.
But I give wrestling a pass because it doesn't claim to be real.
Right.
It knows that it's nonsense and it's just fun entertainment. So I'm not into it. I never really was into it, but I don't,
Yeah, it's kind of...
It's not as scammy to me, even though like those organizations like Vince McMahon, all those people are fucking absolute monsters. And there's like a lot of dark shit in that whole industry. It's still it still is like on its face just entertainment. And I think that's the difference. Is that it says don't take this seriously, where martial arts are like, take this very seriously. Like,
yes,
okay.
We're super serious.
Yeah.
But,
so
I guess one of the other...
there's my number 3.
One of the other sub-genres was the like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type kung fu movies.
It's like almost mythology kind of.
Yeah. There's a lot of those. It's like I remember where they had like claymation and stuff. It's like some random movie my dad had that like is just ridiculous. Like, yeah.
Like people flying through the air and stuff.
Right. And, like growing their arms like Dalsim from Street Fighter.
Okay.
Things like that.
I haven't seen very much of that subgenre. Like I know Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
Yeah, that's I guess the
and
big
maybe a
one. I guess the one
couple
I
others,
was
but
my pick of that subgenre would be Shaolin soccer.
okay, right, yeah. Yeah. There's is it Kung Fu Hustle? Is that the other one? I remember there being two that were
Yeah,
very
it's like
similar.
I need to check out and see if because I'm sure he's made movies since then. It's like I just don't
Hmm.
know if he what he's made.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same guy then.
Stephen Cho, I think is his name.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not very familiar. I just
Oh,
remember
I guess Jet
I
Li
remember
is
the time period when they came out.
another actor I've
Yeah, Jet
completely forgot
Li,
about.
I like Jet Li. I've always liked him.
He's good.
Um he I liked what was it? He was in one of the Lethal Weapon movies, and
Okay,
I thought he
what?
was very entertaining. Um Lethal Weapon 4, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
He was in that one. He's like the bad guy in that.
Uh, he's locked up. You're not doing that on purpose, are you? Are you back? Oh,
He's uh-oh. Lost you for a second.
okay. It seems like it's back.
Okay, there was a Jet Li movie, I think. I think it was him, where he travels like to alternate timelines and alternate dimensions, and he's killing off every other version of himself,
Hmm.
um, and like absorbing their power or something. Maybe I don't remember. Uh,
Don't think I've
I
seen
think
that
that
one.
was Jet Li. Yeah, I remember that movie. I remember it standing out to me because it was right in the early 2000s, and um, there's a scene where he goes to an alternate dimension, and then you hear on the radio they're talking about President Gore, and it's just kind of a funny little.
If only.
Oh, okay, this was yeah, an alternate dimension where you know the election wasn't stolen.
Damn
But
Republican
then I think
fans.
there's a scene at the end. I think it ends with him in hell for some reason.
I've not seen
Uh,
this.
And then he's like standing up on a pyramid or something. I gotta find out what this movie's called. I can see him standing up on a pyramid, and then he's being attacked by like all like hundreds and hundreds of people, and he just starts fighting them, and that's the ending. Um,
Cool.
Jet Li. Let's see. Oh, he's in those Expendables movies. I don't like those movies. Oh, Unleashed. Do you remember that one? That was one of oh man, I'm blanking on his name. The One. That's the one I'm thinking of. It's just called The One because he wants to be the only one
It's like
left.
his movies are named so generically.
I know.
It's like I'm surprised he just doesn't have Jet Li, Jet Li, and Jet Li.
Bob Hoskins. Um, so Unleashed, I think, was one of Bob Hoskins' last movies before he died.
Hmm.
That one's pretty fucked up. Like he's like kept as like a slave by Bob Hoskins, and he's got like a collar on, and he just basically uses him as an attack dog. You know,
Huh.
he'll just like unleash him, and then he'll go nuts and beat the shit out of everybody, and then he collars him back up. Anyhow, What's your
It's
number two?
uh, I went with Shaolin Soccer.
Hmm.
Sticking to that.
Okay, fair enough. That was on your list for another.
Was it?
I don't remember what topic it was that we did. I swear that was one of your lists, or maybe it was an honorable mention in
Yeah,
something.
I think it was an honorable mention. But
Yeah. I remember us talking about it before.
okay. But
So,
it did remind me of. I guess I was looking at my notes, and there's this like crazy prison break movie. It's along the lines of that anime we were talking about with
mhm,
the superhero martial artist. Like he goes into
mhm.
prison to kill a mob boss or something, and he ends up, fighting everybody in the prison. And it's like the evil villains are, you know, like there's a giant, like 1,000 pound man that he ends up fighting. Like he just
Okay.
explodes them all over the room. So it's but
And this is a live action or an
it is
anime?
both, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it's called
Huh.
Ricky O. So Riki,
Oh, I've heard of that.
or maybe it is. No,
I've actually heard of that. I didn't know what it was, but
oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it's like. Fist of the North Star type anime, where the guy he's like, punches, that what is it, the 1 inch punch or whatever, the fist of death.
oh yeah, like in Kill Bill.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's where Kill Bill probably got it from, or
Yeah, I think
they.
it's a cliche from a lot of those where it's
Well,
like
yeah,
you
I
you put
think
your
that
hand
goes
there and you
back
punch.
like
Yeah,
thousands of years. So is
yeah, it probably does.
bullshit mythology, whatever.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess theoretically you could probably if
I
you're
mean,
punching your grandma.
I think yeah, I think if you were to master that, at most you'd be really irritating. Like it'd be annoying. Like, ow, why'd you do that? That's I think the best you're gonna get from that.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just for like people on their couch. That's the only use for it.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like in the animes where they punch you and then you take 5 steps and explode.
Yep. Or I think in Kill Bill, well, in Kill Bill they do like the close up punch because that's how she gets out of the coffin.
Hmm.
But they
Okay.
also have the like death hand thing. I don't know. They have a silly name for it, like 5 finger death hand move or something. And all it is like she just does like some weird sign language on his chest, and then he walks a little ways, and then his heart explodes.
Right. Yeah, I think the theory behind it is you like pinch all the arteries or whatever by the around your heart. And
From the outside somehow.
yeah, from outside your
All
chest.
right.
That
Right.
sounds legit.
Right. Yeah. I think the guy from Temple of Doom makes more sense, where he just reaches in and pulls it out. That's even more plausible to me,
Hmm.
where your chest just becomes paper mache and he just kind of pulls it out.
Okay.
All
So,
right. My number two,
mhm.
unless you have more to say about Shaolin soccer, which I mean we've talked about it before. So
Yeah, it's been so long. It's like
yeah,
I just think it's a fun, silly movie. So the comedy
yeah.
in it works better than like Kung Fu Hustle, but whatever.
My number 2, I will go for one of my childhood classics. Grew up watching it. It's The Karate Kid. Had to go with it.
Okay.
I mean, Mr. Miyagi. You can't get any better than Mr. Miyagi. Also on a rewatch as an adult, and I rewatched it recently, like less than a year ago. Their relationship is really nice. I just like the relationship between Daniel and Mr. Miyagi. Like, I don't know if the movie ever outright says that his dad is dead or if it's a divorce or whatever, but he doesn't have a father figure. And then Mr. Miyagi comes along and he's just like a janitor, but or not a janitor, like the maintenance guy, and secretly turns out to be, a karate master. And like the karate in the movie is just kind of like, okay, it's your 80s silly McDojo style karate.
I just remember
With your
the montage, training montage.
Yeah. You got your homicidal bullies. You also have Elizabeth Shue. I mean, if I have a chance to have Elizabeth Shue and on my list, even if she's just part of a movie, I'm going to, because that was like one of my original crushes as like a little kid. Yeah, God, Elizabeth Shue. Anyway, like all the karate stuff is fine, but I just like the really wholesome relationship that he has with Mr. Miyagi.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing a YouTube video years back that was like basically saying that Daniel was the bad guy and that he kind of deserved getting bullied. And it was one of those.
I think they do a Netflix series.
Yeah, they do a Netflix series. I have not watched it.
Yeah, me neither.
It's about
the script, I think, or it focused.
Yeah,
bad guys.
It's about
perspective.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
and I think that the premise is more about. It's not necessarily like from their perspective to make them out to be justified or anything. But and it's shown in the movie, like they're abused by their sensei. Like that guy's a fucking monster. And even at the end where he's like, no, you need to cheat and injure this kid, they're like, I'm not gonna, that's fucked up, I don't want to do that. And he forces them to. And then in the second movie starts out with him like just physically assaulting these kids in the parking lot, and then Mr. Miyagi comes up and defends him and everything. But so that's where they're kind of sympathetic. And again, I haven't seen Cobra Kai, but I'm guessing that the premise it kind of revolves around like these are actually abused kids. It's kind of fucked up. And then I think it takes place in like modern day. So these guys are old and they're like never got past the Hill Valley tournament or something, They're like, I'm guessing they're kind of like Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite, where it's like, oh, if I could go back in time to the 80s.
If only we had won.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those type. I don't know. I need to watch that show because I'm sure I'd dig it because I love the Karate Kid. But I remember seeing a YouTube video years back where it's like Daniel was a piece of shit and here's all these reasons. And I thought it was funny at the time, and it's still kind of funny. But on rewatching the movie, it like, no, there's a few points where he does pick a fight with them where he shouldn't.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he gets cocky.
Yeah, he gets kind of cocky because they're not allowed to mess with him. So he messes with them, which is like, okay, I mean, maybe don't do that. Like there's a couple of ass kickings he gets that he at first kind of deserves. Um, but other than that, I mean, he's a good character. He's a decent person.
Just
So
young kid finding his place in the world.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, great movie, classic movie. Um, it's mostly on my list because I find it heartwarming. So
Okay. It's like, yeah, those are all the reasons why my number one pick is Samurai Cop. It is more
those
kung
are good
fu than
reasons.
Samurai. Well, it is heartwarming. It's like that scene where
I
he's yelling at him, and then like they kiss him on the head, and he's
yeah, I'm not saying it's not. I think I saw that on maybe like Mystery Science Theater or something.
yeah, probably.
Maybe not that show, but I saw it, you know,
I think they did.
way back when I was a kid and thinking, okay, this is just a silly B movie.
Mhm.
So I don't remember a ton about it. Is that the guy with the really long hair?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then he fights kind of a Steven Seagal bad guy. Looks like Steven Seagal. He's like, but yeah, kind of that same level of cartoony evil villain.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because I don't think Steven Skull's ever actually played a villain.
Really?
I don't think so. I think he takes himself too seriously. He has to be the hero in every movie. I don't think he has. Unless it's
Okay.
one of his later,
I guess I
like,
don't.
straight to...
I don't know enough to object.
Has Steven Seagal ever... I like most of the suggestions are... has Steven Seagal ever made a good movie? Has Steven Seagal ever been in a real fight? Uh, ever competed in martial arts? Ever played a bad guy? Hmm.
Hmm.
I guess there's quite a few where it's questionable, even though he's... No, I don't think he has. Like, yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
had plenty where it's like if you actually look at the movie objectively, it's like, oh, this guy's an evil piece of shit.
Right. Like
But
he's
it's Steven Seagal's idea of a good guy.
right. Yeah, there's plenty of movies like that.
Yeah. So, Samurai Cop. I should revisit that one. I really only remember it being pretty silly and the guy having really long hair. And I think I remember a scene. Does he have like a sword above his fireplace? And somebody tries to break into his house, like ninjas or something, break into his house, and he fights them off with the sword. Am I
Could
thinking of the right
be
movie?
maybe
Yeah.
like I don't like that does sound plausible. Like it goes kind of dark. It's like they kidnap up some women and like pour boiling water on them.
Jesus.
But yeah, it's like I don't think there are ninjas. Like they're more just dumb henchmen.
Yeah, generic bad guys for him to fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the only one that comes close, and he's more of a samurai type than a ninja.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't even remember the plot or the premise of that movie.
Well, I mean, it's just like watching it. You can like see the dubs, and it's like they have a car chase scene, and yeah, the little voice clips are, you're just like, the choices made were interesting.
Well, that sounds fun. What year was that? That was in the 80s, right?
I think it was early 90s. I want to say 93, but
Mm.
could be wrong.
Oh man, do you remember Best of the Best? Did you ever see that one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think there's several of those um,
Who's in it?
that are. I can't remember. I think they were like just kind of popular martial artists in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, but I don't remember any of their names or who
Right.
they were. Um,
I want to
I
say
don't even
Best of
remember
the
what that
Best.
movie's
All right.
about. But
'Cause,
let's
yeah,
see,
I
best.
remember in the 2000s there was some Thai um, kickboxer that made several movies that were decent, like kung fu martial
Yeah,
art type movies. But jumping
I
ahead.
guess the only ones
Oh, I guess we didn't mention Jackie Chan. Like,
we did not mention Jackie Chan yet. Yeah. Um, if I had to pick like a favorite martial arts star, it's probably Jackie Chan.
yep.
Um, I mean, the dude's just so fucking entertaining. Um, which, funny enough, none of his movies are on my list.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean they're all kind of dumb.
yeah. Although Rush Hour came close. In fact, I should have included that as as an honorable mention. I do really like the Rush Hour movies.
Yeah,
They're fun.
Chris
Um,
Tucker's good too.
yeah, and they have really good chemistry together. They're really fun to watch together.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so those are definitely an honorable mention. Um, so Best of the Best had actually a few people that are recognizable. Eric Roberts was in it. I think the star was this guy Philip Ree, who I think he just did a bunch of martial arts stuff. Chris Penn was in it. James Earl Jones.
Wow, Star Wars guy.
Um, yeah, this guy Eddie Bunker, who he was in, or Edward Bunker. He was in Reservoir Dogs. He was uh, Mr. Brown, I think. I don't remember. He's one of the guys you forget about. He's like the older guy.
Okay,
Um,
it's like
but
I'm
the
not.
only reason
Go ahead.
I bring up the only reason I bring up Best of the Best is I don't remember anything about what that movie's even about.
Hmm.
I just know it's a martial arts movie, and I know I had this friend in like fifth or sixth grade who uh, was really into that movie and that he thought that he was like a martial artist because he would like try to recreate the shit from the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
that's where it begins.
in fact, you might have he was went to the same junior high and high school as us, so I won't say his name because we're recording, but
Hmm.
uh, he was the one. His older brother died in like a car accident. I think our sophomore junior year.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I can't.
I
Yeah.
don't remember
Anyway,
anybody.
yeah, that's fair. You might remember him if I say his name. I'll wait till we're not recording. I'll tell you who I'm talking about.
Okay,
But
so I guess you.
yeah, I just remember there was these movies as kids that you always had that one friend or that one kid that you knew that thought he was like a badass martial artist because he watched all these movies. You know, probably had a few of those books, at Hastings, where it's like the
Mm.
photographs of each move. Remember those?
Yeah, I did get a book like that.
Oh, I had a couple of them. Yeah, I had a few of the like ninja ones,
Mm.
and it was always a white dude with a beard
Hmm.
on the cover.
Yeah.
No matter what martial art it was supposed to be, it was always some white dude with a beard.
Mm.
Yeah, divorced dad books.
Okay. So what's
So yeah,
your number one?
all right. So my number one is technically two movies because I am including both the original and the sequel, especially since they're all the same story. In fact, I think the sequel picks up like seconds after the first movie ends.
Okay.
And it's two movies. It's The Raid
Huh.
1 and 2. So you got The Raid Redemption. I don't know why it's called Redemption. Actually, I kind of do. It kind of makes a little bit of sense for the story. But I think
Hmm.
that might be like a weird thing that like the US release tacked on. And then you got The Raid 2. If I had to choose which one I like better, it's probably part 2 because they do up the stakes and they do make it, um, much just cooler. It's stylistically, it's much cooler movie. But The Raid, have you seen these at all? Do you know about these?
Uh. Oh. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's the one that Judge Dredd movie kind of just remade, where
Yeah.
it all takes place in a single apartment building,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like fighting his way across different floors.
Okay.
Um, and you've got the hallway scene where he takes out like a shitload of dudes.
Hmm.
I like it because stylistically, like the choreography is amazing. It's just
Hmm.
impressive to see. The fights are so well structured. It's really fun, and I like that it is really fucking violent, like bloody, gory. Just it's really, really violent. Like there's a couple of moments that are so brutal that I still wince, even though I know it's coming now. Um, like there's a scene where a door has been like busted up, and the bottom part of the door jamb is all jagged, and he like grabs a guy's head and jumps backwards so that his throat lands on it.
Hmm.
It's shit like that. It's just really great kills.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a very straightforward, just kind of fight your way through this building full of bad guys and try to survive. But then it has this crime drama story woven throughout it. His brother, the cop's brother, turns out to be one of the
Yeah.
criminals in the building, which I think maybe is where the redemption subtitle comes in. Um,
Hmm.
but the Raid 2, yeah, if I have to choose one, it's definitely the Raid 2. It's just so much cooler.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm not sure if I've seen that one. I think I watched the
yeah,
first
it's
one.
better. Um, it
Okay. I have to
has
check it out. Oops.
one of my favorite fight sequences of any movie ever. It might be my favorite, if we're talking martial arts. And that's the kitchen fight. Just when you get to the kitchen, it's you're about to see something fucking incredible.
Hmm.
Uh, but it also has like really fun side characters, like really fun opponents. There's this, I think they're brother and sister,
Mm-hmm.
these two hitmen types, and one of them uses a baseball bat and a ball. He'll like knock the ball towards you and like kill you from a distance with a baseball, or he'll just hit you with a bat. And then the woman, which I think is supposed to be his sister, she uses hammers, just 2 hammers. And there's a really fun sequence at a subway where she takes out a bunch of dudes with a couple of claw hammers. And it doesn't. It's just like the first one. It doesn't shy away from the blood and the gore. So when you see her killing a bunch of motherfuckers with claw hammers, it's there's some moments where you're like, you want to look.
So is it that, like practical effects, and they're like smashing up fake heads? And
I think it's mostly practical. Well, I don't know if it's all practical. Like, I don't know if there's any paper mache heads or anything. I don't remember like any CGI standing out though.
Yeah, that's well. I guess in a movie like that, you don't want it to stand out.
Yeah, but there were some, especially around the era that these came out. I don't remember what year either of them came out. I know they're well into the 2000s.
2011, I think.
2014. Okay, that sounds about right. Like there was a movie about ninjas that came out around the same time. Can't remember what it was. It was like a very generic name, like Ninja something. And it was very, very violent, but it was such obvious CGI violence that it really stood out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like the Ninja or something. But
yeah.
I mean, it was a fun movie, but
yeah, I don't think any of it stands out as looking incredibly fake or definitely CGI. It looks real. I mean, there are moments where you're like, I'm not sure if it would happen that way with the human body. And there is definitely, especially the kitchen fight scene, there is definitely like a tipping point where you're like, okay, both of them are going to pass out. And it still goes on for like 5 more minutes. Like, why are they still both standing and fighting?
Like,
there's no way you'd still be standing, either of them.
It's like the human body doesn't have that much blood. It's like it's only like not even 3 gallons.
Yeah. But and it's I love, I don't want to give too much away, but I one of the other reasons I love that kitchen fight is it's so fucking brutal. And it's in like, not like a house kitchen, it's in like a hotel kitchen or something, like a commercial kitchen.
Okay.
So everything is white tile. So there's just blood everywhere and you see every drop, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's just good planning.
Yeah, good set design. Also, I should note the music too, especially in that kitchen fight. Like it builds, the music builds with the intensity of the fight, which really, when it gets really desperate, you really feel it. It's really cool. So, yeah, that's my number 1 all-time favorite martial arts movie.
Okay, I have to check out the second one. I don't think I watched that one. So.
Yeah, I definitely recommend the second one, even over the first one. You kind of have to see the first one for any of the story of the second one to make sense. But both of them also have, it's not just like martial arts stuff. They have some pretty good gunfights. I think the second one has a really good car chase scene. So, and it's a somewhat interesting story. It's not super groundbreaking as far as the story goes, but there's something there. It's a crime drama.